property and you've closed. Now the real work begins. Like, it's so exciting getting it, but now it's like, all right, we got to execute this thing. So first thing, you can need a great property management team. So if the team in place is not doing a good job, you need to, before you close, already have that lined up. Like, that's not something to do afterwards. So line that up before you close. Then when you close that first week, you're going to get on a Zoom, get on a whatever, and communicate, or go in person, communicate a vision. I had an hour-long call and like had 3 pages of just like, this is where the rent roll needs to be at this point. This is where the rent roll, this is what we're doing. This is where we're going. These are the CapEx things we're going to be executing. This is where I want changes to be made, you know, those kinds of things. And so you just communicate the vision and let them know, and really like get them excited and get them on your team, and, you know, communicate excitement. And you can do also through incentives, giving them things like, if we're hitting our metrics, there's going to be bonuses, that kind of thing. If it's necessary. And sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It's always good when you are on track to, and we like to do that, just to do bonuses to them and help them, you know, incentivize them. In the beginning, you're going to do weekly check-ins and then move to monthly. So we're talking a weekly phone call where and those phone calls are usually an hour long. And they're just like, where's our rent roll? Where's our delinquencies? How are renovations going? How are CapEx projects? Do we have any problems? You know, it's just basically touching base with them. And on the big projects, it's definitely once a week. With this kind of project, because the property was not distressed, I emailed once a week, and then I talked to him like every 2 to 3 weeks, or if there was like a problem that he needed to talk to me about. Your job as the asset manager is to keep an eye on the business plan at all times. Every month, you are looking at what rent was collected, what expenses, did expenses stay in line? Did expenses go up? What happened if they did? You need to keep an eye on those numbers like a hawk, because 1 month, if they go off by 1 month, you're okay. But if they start like deviating significantly, then you're going to get in trouble in 2 to 3 months with really deviated numbers than what you were planning. And then your job is to pivot and correct as needed. So if you have a bad management team in place, which is what we had at the self-storage facility, you gotta pivot, you gotta fire, you gotta change. You've got to make those hard calls. And you also have to, if you see, like, we were losing money with our utilities. So like I was sending a check to the utility company for $2,000 every month, and we were only collecting back like $1,200 a month. And it was like, okay, this is not working. We are not recovering our utilities. So we changed. We had one system, the RUB system. We're doing away with that. We're phasing it out. And now we're just doing utility bill backs, where everybody's getting it added to their lease. They've got a $50 utility fee, and it's collected when their rent is collected. There's none of this rigmarole, and we're just straight. And so I had to, be like, okay, this is significantly not working. We're changing it. So that's your job. Okay. I know I'm going really fast. Okay. So then that's with your multifamily. And then Marielle asked me to kind of speak to self-storage too, because I have really loved self-storage and now own 4 self-storage properties. And that is a really great asset class. Ladies, if you can get into it, I highly recommend getting into it. Same points as the multifamily asset management as far as keeping the business plan going. However, you've got a different clientele with self-storage. And so you run it differently. With self-storage, you've got people that own, $80,000 campers and boats, and it's a different clientele. And so that was something where we screwed up, is we had a management company that had been used to doing multifamily, and we plugged them into self-storage, and they didn't handle the customer service well. They didn't wasn't good. So, and I realized I think that was a big part of it. So with your self-storage, your main goal with that is to get it automated and to get everybody paying you recurring billing. So on the first of the month, 72% of our tenants automatically, their credit cards are charged, and the amount is transferred into the bank account. It's a beautiful thing. There's no it's a lot easier than multifamily in that way. I mean, I know a lot of multifamilies, you can do recurring billing and all that, but it's just such a larger chunk. A lot of people aren't, I don't know. It's just, you don't have that high, usually a percentage is that 72%. With your asset management with self-storage, just be prepared that there's a higher turnover. You have people moving in and out every month. We average 8 to 10 move-ins, 8 to 10 move-outs every single month. And that's normal. It's just normal, especially with RV and boat parking. And then management is key again. Marketing and your websites are really important with self-storage. If you do buy a self-storage facility, you need to make sure that you're very visible on the internet because that's how everybody's finding you. Multifamily, no. Most multifamilies don't even have a website, but you definitely want one with self-storage. And then full automation is necessary to reduce your expenses and your costs. So you do that through online portals, and we use SiteLink and StoreEdge are the two softwares we use. And we have a security gate where people are locked out at the gate. They have codes that are connected with their accounts that they get when they register. It's just super, it's beautiful.